Hello and welcome to chapter 138 of our streaming adventure. Happy Thanksgiving to anybody that celebrates that, or, hey, happy Thursday if that's all it means to you. So next month's Mana Traders series is going to be modern, so we need to learn some modern for next month, as well as I noticed this. Oh, hey, Steve. Yeah, that was it was pretty epic trying to race our mana crypt to thaw out a Dark Depths. Okay, so I saw this announcement that talked about a first ever LotusBox Octagon. 8 players, $20 entry, $100 to the winner with re-entry to the next one. So I thought, oh, that seems interesting. And then it turns out that a couple people had signed up, and I'm like, shoot, the next month is going to be modern. I need to learn how to play, or I'm going to be playing it anyway. What if we kind of use this as a way to maybe get some exposure and force myself to learn even faster? So I thought it would be interesting to jump in. So we did. And so looking out there, it tells you who entered into the tournament. So we have Andreas Peterson, Gabriel Nicholas, Oink Mage, Lucas Twist, Twist MTG, Max Kamenowski, Twinless Twin, Nick Price, Sandy Dog, and Yama Killer. So with those, I was trying to think, is there a way to kind of predict what I think the field would be? And by predicting the field, can I take advantage of it? Like Sandy Dog MTG is well known for playing red decks because they're very good at playing red decks. Yama Killer's range is definitely wide, and like I'll list a lot of these people. So then I was like, okay, is there a deck that I should think about to specifically try to take advantage of them? And so that led me to go look at the latest modern leagues. So if people are playing red, or like the aggressive prowess builds and stuff like that, because that's where the modern metagame is right now. The Uro Omnath decks of the world, Rakdos Death Shadow, Amulet Titan, Heliod Company. I don't know, Oops All Spells is another one to consider. That I was wondering, and I guess to a degree, I don't necessarily know how to best take advantage of this. So then I was like, okay, well, maybe I just need to find a deck that I'm going to be able to pilot to a degree that wouldn't be embarrassing. Because part of why I'm doing it is I'm figuring it kind of gives me some exposure, get my name out there, mention that I'm streaming, maybe people will see it, and if we can do well, maybe that it can add some followers or whatever. So, and worst case, it's $20, just $20. So looking at these lists, like I said, we did see a list from, and I'm trying to think of their name, Everos is a streamer that we'll watch sometime. I thought that their deck was pretty interesting. It had Saheeli and Cat and a bunch of other stuff, but I think it also rolled up into the Uro Omnath kind of stuff. And that's why it's worth looking at. So Mick Winsauce is somebody that's the template of the deck I used to play in Legacy with the Omnath build that they were doing in Legacy. This is who I took it from, was Mick Winsauce. So Uros, Omnaths, Ren and Six, Teferis. You got Bolt, Path to Exile, Growth Spiral. It's basically your... Doesn't it have Land of... What is it? Field of the Dead? Yeah, so You can overwhelm people with Field of the Dead, as well as just having the general Mystic Sanctuary kind of value loops that Cryptic Command allows for. So I was trying to think, like, would it make sense overall to do those things? But I also wonder, if I try to do this more involved combo-rific, whatever, am I just gonna get run over? So I do, as much as I think this might be fun, this might be better for Mana Trader series, and maybe I target things a little bit more somehow. Now that's the thing, is I don't necessarily know. I don't necessarily know the somehow, and that's kind of the problem. So okay, Oink Mage, one of the people that have signed up, they are playing Uro Omnath, and so that's a deck to expect. We said Sandy Dog to expect, things like that, trying to see what are the kind of decks people will be playing. But then again, here's another argument for McWinsauce. I mean, maybe it's McWinsauce themselves that keeps doing well, and it's not necessarily the deck, but I mean, just looking at some of these other names. Hi, buddy. Just trying to see if something really sparks interest, that as a way for us to take advantage of it. Here's another set of leagues. I'm just looking for the names that we saw, just to see if maybe one of them give me, they don't necessarily have to have 5-0s, but it would be nice to see some of the kind of stuff that people would be playing. All right, I'm not recognized, although there's somebody 5-0'd with 2 different lists. I guess, what does Scapeshift look like right now? Scapeshift would be a deck that I quote, know how to play. Is this just standard bug Scapeshift? Uro, Ren and 6, Teferi. Now, they're not necessarily playing... Yeah, they're not taking advantage of any of the stuff. I do wonder about the Oops All spells, as... Is that something that can attack people definitely from like left field? So here, let's look at it. It's trying to get out a quick Balustrade Spy, Undercity Informer. But no, see, this isn't quite like the other one, because I think you have to use... Okay, you're going to burn them with your Creeping Chills and then play a bunch of Vengevines to attack. And that just needs to be good enough. I have a hard time believing that would be good enough. Maybe that's just me. That's not what I wanted. What about... I mean, Jeskai Control seems... Jeskai Control seems like it would be safe, but at the same time, I mean, am I trying to play safe? Am I trying to... I guess I don't necessarily know. See, that's my problem is, what am I trying to do? Okay, Yama Killer is out there streaming the Modern Preliminary with Tron and playing Amulet Titan between its rounds. So that's another person that has, a variety of things going on. What about the channel? Sorry, I'm just looking at something, trying to figure out how to turn something back on that got turned off. There it is. That should work. Okay. So, I mean, infect is another thing that it could potentially. It's not something I'm used to, but could be interesting. I really do feel like something like Uro and Omnath would probably be more what I like. I just would have to talk myself into. Well, let's look about. Let's go to. Oh, what's their name? Everos on Twitch or on Twitter, and see if we can find the deck list they had. Because, like I said, it was a kind of cat. It was a big weird pile, and that was what I was trying to find. Maybe we can look them up via Twitch, watch their video from yesterday, and see if we can snap a deck list. You know, one of those things where it says continue watching, but maybe not. I mean, of course not. That would just, it would be helpful and something that would be nice, so why would that work? I do like the idea of having Omnath and working with Time Warp. So let's go ahead and download this one. And just see what it looks like. See how close we could come to something like that. So modern. We have a lot of variation here. Uro Omnath. I have to admit I don't like the two different mana league cards. So you could probably get that down to one. Let's switch the. So we do own we own a single Ren and 6 now out of all that stuff we opened, so that's pretty slick. Not exactly sure what these various cards would help for in the various matchups, but all right. So what are the basics in this deck? Because they need to trigger Field of the. This doesn't have a Field of the Dead. That seems questionable. Commander Legends is Legacy and older, so Hull Breacher is not available to us. I do feel like something like Field of the Dead would be better overall, because like, why are you differentiating between your lands if you don't have something to go get? All right, let's try searching for what's the Sky Noodle. Yorion. So here we go. A Yorion, Saheeli Rai, Felidar Guardian, Ephemerate. What is Ephemerate? Return target creature you control, exile target creature you control, and return it to the battlefield under its owner's control. And then it blinks again. Got some Wall of Blossoms, Coiling Oracle nonsense. It's interesting. There it is. This is probably the version, because that's their name. Oh, this is a Niv Mizzet deck. I don't want Niv Mizzet deck. Okay, Euro. Here we go. This is the pile of nonsense I was picturing. This is the pile of nonsense. So let's import this one and name it Yorion Ramnath and put it in whatever that one was. Okay. So this is going to be a lot more cards. See, Field of the Dead, stuff like that. Okay. We own some cards. We don't own all the cards. And then let's clear the wish list. I'm just curious if we can even, how close we are to even renting this, because maybe this is out of our jurisdiction. I think I have the Yorion. Don't I have a foil Yorion? I do. Alright, the foil Yorion obviously is the one you want to play. Okay, so then add the missing cards to the wish list, and let's see how expensive this deck actually is. No, we have to export. Okay. So, move that over here. Because if this is possible, then I think this is the kind of foolishness I think I would play. Because it's not good, but it would be fun. And we're not here for a long time, we're here for a good time. Oh. So we should probably check the basics. Because I feel like something of the basics is going to be weird. Okay. Acceptable. 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 Okay. I'll allow it. Now, those could be better lightning bolts. And I think that's really all we can help. Okay, 45 cards. Happy Thanksgiving. Thanks for stopping in. Trying to get a little testing in ahead of the Octagon tournament tomorrow. A little 8-player. Okay. So we will update. Let's go play a league. No, so they're calling it that on Octagon, but I think the joke, Steve, is that it is a 8-player tournament. So that's where the Octagon portion comes in, if you will. So here it's called LotusBox Octagon, starting with modern 8-player tournament with the winner like kind of winning the prize and moving on. So that's where the name is. Not the old what would you call that? Apprentice Light or whatever type version. It's not that. All right, let's jump in. Yorion Omnath pile. Apprentice. Octagon was the versus system skin, if I remember correctly. All right, and it probably will help to refresh ourselves of what is actually in our deck. I'm sure we will look at it a lot. looks good. I mean, I was watching a stream of this last night, and it looked properly. It looked like a good amount of proper nonsense, and so I was like, yeah, that seems like something I would do. So you have cat combo, you have just Omnath beatdowns. I think it could be fun. All right, Jefferson S. We're on the draw. I will show you a companion. It's been a while since I've showed a companion. Oh, our opponent is also a Yorion deck. This sounds awesome. I'll keep this. So we've got so what do I want to do? I probably want to start with do I gain anything by having snow covered versus the other forest? I don't believe so. Stoneforge Mystic, okay. So I'll move my companion over here. So this can give me any color. What I'm wondering is, does it make more sense to try to... If I play that, if I play the breeding pool, it could let me ramp into... Alright, so then now if I play out... that I can save to get a different color. So let's play this one. And then this will play Oath of Nissa. I'll take it on now. Alright, so those are legendary. If I put a Field of the Dead out there, get him to go after it. If I put Abundant... Sorry, buddy. I put Abundant Growth on that. So I get him to pull it. Okay. So now we have Felidar Guardian for blinking. We've already played our land. Okay, I'll let them have a sword. I feel like the damage I'm not necessarily worried about because we still have Supreme Verdict to try to clear away. Okay, that's not the one I was expecting. Flying and First Strike. Okay. So, all right. So I got blue, white, red, green. Spell Queller is a good one. Now, if they follow up with a Sword of Fire and Ice and equip, 3, 4, 5. What is this? Whenever land enters the battlefield under the opponent's control, return a land. I feel like that helps me. Okay, so let's start with white, white, blue, colorless. Fair enough. So we'll get to draw, but we'll lose out on the extra trigger. Whenever land enters the battlefield, so we can play the first one out. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. I'm trying to think, is there a way to have a second land come in? No, I don't think there is. So I only played one land this turn. I guess I don't understand why. Why is it returning a card to my hand if I've only had one land in so far? Whenever land enters the battlefield, if that player had another land under the battlefield they control this turn. I did not fetch. Yeah, this would be a bug. They Field of Ruined me, but they're doing it on their turn. They played a land, and then they targeted me. So this is a bug. But that's the thing, I haven't fetched this turn yet, so this definitely sounds like a bug. Let me just screenshot it. Get to file for compensation later. Because I would agree that maybe the second time they Field of Ruin me, it would work. But definitely not the first time. And see, now this is going to trigger and bounce another one. So that's definitely kind of frustrating because then I'll never be able to have... Yeah, I definitely should not have had this extra one back. Like, maybe if I would have cracked the fetch land, I would believe. And then now if I try to play a land, it would go off. So that's a little annoying. See if we can get them to suit up, and then we can go after it with Flicker Wisp. See, now here's, I think, the bug, is they played a land. They're going to hit my thing. And I agree that when I put a land into play, this will be the first land I played, but it's going to trigger for them. See, this is wrong. If that player had another land, so that's the issue. That it's... Yeah, that I've only had one land come into play. Yeah, opponent is exploiting a bug, is what it appears. So I guess we can try to play another one, but I don't know if it's necessarily worth it. But we can see. I mean, it does seem like it would be good against this type of deck, whether they're doing it on purpose, but Remand seems terrible, especially since they have the what's the I'm drawing a blank on the one a white and a blue spell queller. They had a lot of creatures. Spell queller targets, does it not? Spell Queller enters the battlefield. Exile target spell with converted mana cost 4 or less. Target spell. I've already said do not. Let's go get a blue, red. Which one's this one? Blue, red, white. Let's go get that one. Yep, pretty much. Thank you, Steve. Appreciate it. All right, so if we get ourselves that. Blue, green. So this looks like, so they have played a land, and then when they, okay, that's one way to do it. So this needs 4. Gives me back 1. So 3. I would need 6 land total. These are islands. Those are not islands. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4. I did not think through the Thalia part because I was like, oh yeah, I just play this Renin 6 and ping it. I'm not allowed to do that. All right. Also, we would have tried to ping it. This thing would have sacrificed itself to save it. Alright, if they don't have an answer, we're going to kill them with Felidar Sahili. Unless I'm doing something wrong. So, Felidar will blink the land back. So I'll pay 4. And it will blink this land. The Conundrum. Conundrum will make me pick up this land. And then I'm going to play a Sahili. And kill them. Okay. So what did we see from them? A lot more white creatures. Someone tells me these Veil of Summers are weak. Do I want something to try to fight the Conundrum? Like, I don't feel like I do. Maybe the remands are worth it? Just to be able to buy time in a situation? I didn't see a cavern out of them, so maybe that's worthwhile. Excuse me. Which one is this one? So the question is, do I just bolt them? Blue, get a white source. Sahili Rai. Fair. Right on time. Swords that. Alright, so blue, blue, green, blue, green, green, blue. 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. We have remand available to us. How many basics do we have? Okay, so create a token, except it's an artifact, but it would be that, so that doesn't do me any good. Let's start with an attack. Okay. Let's draw that. Seems good. Did I already play a land? Do this. Those choices suck. Red. We'll put that one on top. Combo? I mean, they could very well have a path. Okay, they do. Okay. We could trigger apparition. I don't understand how we can trigger apparition. I would have had to ping in advance of Ren and 6, but I did not do that. Yeah, I was trying to just kill them. That was my plan. Okay. Yes, please. I'd like to get a Field of the Dead and a Field of the Dead. Turn that one. Pass. Just try not to die right now. Okay. All right. Well, that worked out.